Nicolas Cage, examining the latest adaptation of our kick-ass national treasure. It's been a hell of a decade for Nicolas Cage, the actor who spent the first part of his career accumulating a veritable dragon's hoard of treasure, including, but certainly not limited to, a medieval castle, a haunted house in New Orleans, and a comic book featuring the first appearance of Superman. Entered the 2010s on a mission to free himself from debts accrued from said accumulation of treasure. Already regarded as one of the hardest working actors, Cage has spent the last 10 years routinely starring in 4 or more features a year. Were all of these films heartbreaking masterpieces? Of course not. Did this sudden glut of oftentimes-direct-to-VOD movies cause some people to regard Nicolas Cage as a mediocre actor? Yes, it did. Are those people wrong? Again, the answer is yes. The truth is that Nicolas Cage loves to act. The explanation that the cash-strapped Cage has to take every half-baked script that comes his way doesn't even make sense, if you think about it. When was the last time you saw Cage hawking vitamin supplements, or Doritos, or luxury automobiles? Sure, he did a series of amazing commercials for Japanese pachinko machines, but Japanese commercials are pretty notorious for being a bit more avant-garde. No Superman. Nicolas Cage is surprisingly franchise-averse. In a modern cinematic landscape that has seen Chris Evans suit up as Captain America 8 times, 5 voyages as Jack Sparrow for Johnny Depp, and a seemingly endless number of road trips for the Fast and Furious crew, Cage has made exactly 2 sequels, with a 3rd on the way, since a new The Croods movie is coming out this year. That's not to say that Cage is ideologically opposed to superheroes. He changed his surname from Coppola as a tribute to the Marvel hero Luke Cage, and his son shares the birth name, Kal-El, with DC's Superman. Furthermore, took up the mantle of Ghost Rider in 2 films, not to mention that of Spider-Man and Superman, albeit in more minor projects. The simplest explanation for Cage's mercenarial tendencies is that the actor just likes to keep it fresh. As an always busy actor who receives occasionally effusive accolades while also being criticized for his lack of choosiness, Cage is a bit like Adam Sandler. However, Sandler has mastered vertical integration. He inked a lucrative Netflix deal, casts his close friends in his films, and almost always get writer/producer credit. Cage has fleetingly worn other hats. He's got a handful of producing credits, and one time he directed a movie starring James Franco. But he's mostly just a consummate actor. Cult of Cage. As a Coppola, he's related to everyone from film director Sofia Coppola to Rocky actress Talia Shire, to Jason Schwartzman, friend of Wes Anderson, who always wanted to be a Coppola. But outside of a couple of early films with his uncle Francis Ford, Cage has avoided nepotistic endeavors. It's easy to see that Nicolas Cage is one of the most mean personalities on the internet today. His bug-eyed glare from Vampire's Kiss, his blissed-out grin from Con Air, and his panicked pleading to not be covered in bees from the film Wicker Man are all moments far more famous than the films from which they were excised. Memes are an increasingly pervasive method of communication and self-expression, and Cage's meme status is a testament to his ability as an actor to synthesize feelings that are once highly specific and incredibly universal. One true God. While most mainstream actors today are devotees of the naturalistic style championed by Stella Adler and Lee Strasberg, Cage practices an acting method of his own invention, something he calls nouveau shamanism. The implication here is that when he acts, Cage taps into something primal, and then serves as the vessel to deliver that deep spiritual truth to the audience. It's not surprising that Cage's wild-at-heart director David Lynch once called him the jazz musician of American acting, or that his Lord of War co-star Ethan Hawke said that Cage is the only actor since Marlon Brando that's actually done anything new with the art. It's also no surprise that the subreddit devoted to Cage is called r/OneTrueGod. He played twin brothers in Charlie Kaufman's Adaptation, a terrorist who swaps faces with an FBI agent in John Woo's Face Off, and a one-handed man who romances Cher in Moonstruck. He's also frequently added stunts where the script did not necessarily call for them, like when he insisted upon sneaking in an unnerving falsetto and Peggy Sue get married, or when he actually got drunk to play the suicidal alcoholic in Leaving Las Vegas. He won his only Oscar for that performance. While these showings are certainly among the actor's best, they don't seem to have fundamentally shifted his trajectory. Perhaps 2009's Bad Lieutenant, Port of Call, New Orleans did. German Expressionism. Bad Lieutenant, Port of Call, New Orleans feels like a film manifested by fans of Cage's patented uncanniness. The film, directed by Cage's fellow German Expressionism devotee, Werner Herzog, has Cage coincidentally playing a police lieutenant riddled with debt, who must neurotically bluster his way out of his predicament. He imbibes drugs with Zibit, hallucinates iguanas, and suffocates an elderly woman. As someone with shamanic inclinations, it's possible that Cage was not only open to the ethereal plane, but also uniquely attuned to the desires of his disciples. Cage seems to have developed symbiotic circuitry with the internet, progressively taking more meta roles as the internet's fascination with meta has deepened. Rage Cage. Other than his performance in David Gordon Green's 2013 drama Joe, Cage has bid adieu to grounded characters. Pick any Nicolas Cage film over the last 10 years, and the odds that he's facing off a supernatural entity, Season of the Witch, an apex predator, Primal, or a crime syndicate, Dog Eat Dog, are significantly high. Cage has owned his trademark glower, his absurd giggle, and his vituperative shouts to a hypnotic degree. 2017's Mom and Dad has Cage playing the titular dad as he takes his frustrations with parenthood to a murderous extreme. Perhaps he's tapping into the rage we feel about our seeming insignificance in the grand scale of the universe, as he does in Richard Stanley's 2019 Lovecraft adaptation Color Out of Space. Or perhaps he's tapping into the rage of anyone who's faced profound loss, as he does in the 2018 revenge thriller Mandy. Coming soon. In 2016's Army of One, he collaborated with Borat director Larry Charles to portray a squeaky-voiced construction worker who receives a mission from God to kill Osama bin Laden. The list of his upcoming projects seems tailor-made to please oddballs, outsider artists, and societal rejects. In other words, Cage's tribe. Soon we can watch Nicolas Cage team up with Tony Jaa and Frank Grillo to battle aliens in jiu-jitsu. He's working with Sion Sono, director of Why Don't You Play in Hell and Anti-Porno, and Prisoners of the Ghostland. In Wally's Wonderland, he's playing a janitor who must battle knockoff versions of the monsters from Five Nights at Freddy's. And in The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, he'll be playing a totally fictional character named Nick Cage, who gets recruited by the CIA and gets cast in a Quentin Tarantino movie. In another shocking move of internet savviness, Cage is also preparing to play the Tiger King Joe Exotic for a TV series. And if that's not enough, he's currently developing a series with Amazon, which has him playing a vodka-drinking, cable TV-addicted dragon stuck in the bayous of Louisiana. Of course, National Treasure 3 is still on hold. Honestly, the Nicolas Cage singularity can't come soon enough.